Hi, this video I will try to keep it shortly, but I will get straight to it. Now we are in a world where there are a lot of things to see on YouTube, social media, and basically everybody wants to get rich today. There's always a new way to do things. There's always a new book that comes out, and there's always new ways to reach your goal. And people have now started, and that is why I'm making this video. I want you guys to be aware what the reality is in the world today. I'm not going to go into specific details about certain topics about the Bible, about religion and those things, because I know there are shared opinions about that. So I will just talk about what's happening now and the ways that you can become rich, that you can start to manifest things, and everything sounds really nice, right? So the thing is, all these videos, all these books that have come out recently, all the posts on social media, all these things, they have roots. I'm not saying this to scare anyone, but I have grown up knowing a lot about the Bible, me myself. And I've also been maybe deceived, if that's the word you want to call it, by these things myself. Who doesn't want to have a successful career, a successful family, relationship, a nice house, maybe a nice car? Why? Isn't that good? Shouldn't we all have plans to get what we want? Well, maybe. Or maybe it isn't so good after all. If we look at the Bible and we start to see, I'm not going to put up any scriptures or anything, because this is just coming straight from my heart. If you look at the roots from wanting to have everything yourself, wanting to be your own God, you can say, and selfishness, do you know what root that comes from? That actually comes from what the Bible says about this person, is that this is a person that did something wrong, and the end of the story is that he was thrown out of heaven. And many people don't know this, but if you read and look at the scriptures, it says that they broke a war out in the heaven, and Satan and all his demons, meaning all his workers, they were also thrown out of heaven with him. And in another scripture, it actually says that this person, or this entity, as people like to call it these days, or this angel that betrayed God, he's actually the ruler of the world today. I'm not going to go into more details about this, but if you look at the videos that's up today, they all talk about being their own God. Why do you want to be your own God? Well, if we go back to the question that was actually arised in the beginning of the book of the Bible when Satan actually betrayed God. A question that arose was that God should not be the one, that we should not serve him, that we should choose for ourselves who we want to serve, and that we actually just serve God because of all the things that he gives us and these kind of things. And then if you go into Job, the book of Job in the Bible, then Satan was allowed to test Job with a lot of things, a lot of diseases, and the communication was that he talked to God and said, isn't this the person that just does everything for you just because you give everything to him? And then he said, what if I go down on the earth and I start to maybe do something bad to him for a bit? And that's actually what happened. It's a story in the Bible. And to not get off track, he did not lose his faith to God, even though he was, I call it, terrorized by Satan and the way he tackled him. So now back to where this video is going. So this is about everything in the world that's going on today. The topic of the video and the things I have discussed until now is that people want to become rich. So we now have looked at the roots of where selfishness comes from. It really comes or boils down to Satan himself. He wanted to do things for himself. He didn't want anyone to serve God because he wanted to be God himself. If you look at, again, the questions that arise and the story about Adam and Eve, then God gave Adam and Eve everything for them and said that you should not eat from this tree, because that day you will eat from that tree, that then something will happen. They just got the rule, but Satan then comes along and he says to them that, have God really said that you should not eat from this tree? And he made the first lie in the story of the Bible and the way it's told according to the story. And what happened there was that they did eat from the apple, or not the apple, but the fruit. We don't know symbolically, or we don't know physically what it actually is, because it's not written, but it's a fruit. But the important part here is that he said it's not that you should not eat from this. You should actually just go ahead, take whatever you want, probably take as much as you like, because you should be your own boss, right? And he said that God knows that the day you eat from this, you will open up your eyes and you will be like God. So this is just a little bit about the backstory about the story about the Bible, or the story about Satan and the questions that arise. But what worries me now is that people are, as they call it, deceived. And my point of this video is not to make money or anything. It's just that I actually want people to wake up, open up their eyes, and see what is actually going on in the world today. So if we step back a little bit, and we look at that, I said that Satan, according to the Bible, is actually the ruler of the world, then is it possible that he can also make things happen in a way? So if you now look at YouTube, you look at social media, you now know the backstory and you know where I'm going with this video. Then we now see new things like meditation. We see things like we should write down a list of what we want in life, what we want to achieve. Nothing bad with writing down what we want to accomplish. That's maybe like setting goals for our own mind. But these things are packed in to not be bad at all. And many of these people that watches these videos, that does what these videos say, they are not believers of God at all. Some of them are maybe on the spiritual side, I will get back to that, but some of them aren't aware of what it actually is at all. And they call this New Age and meditation and all these things. And then you also have something called the law of attraction. So if you start to visualize what you want to achieve in life, then maybe on a conscious level you will start to do things. You will start to work again, like towards these goals. It's nothing bad against that. It's good for us humans to work to achieve our goals and set goals for ourselves. If not, we would probably not do anything really drastically, because we would stand still. But if we have goals, it's beneficial for us to be able to actually accomplish. If we set higher expectation of ourselves, we maybe work harder and so on, and maybe celebrate when we reach our goal. But the point is, and the thing is, that these videos today, these people that teach us these things, and now I'm talking about meditation, which is now actually done by many people. Even Bill Gates himself talks really nicely about meditation. And yeah, just huge group of people talk about meditation as a really nice thing. Then we have hypnosis. So hypnosis is a form of not asleep, because you're fully awake, you're fully aware of what's going on, and you cannot do anything, or the hypnotist cannot do anything that's against your will, and so on. So I will come back to this. But once you start searching these search terms on YouTube, for instance, law of attraction, if you search for hypnosis, if you search for setting goals, and so on, you will then start to see that things start to come up that's really related to these things. And that's the algorithm that works behind. So when you search for hypnosis, you might find things that are related to that subject. Then you might come into something called manifest abundance, so on. And then you might find videos related to law of attraction. So my point is that all these things are usually related. And then you can ask yourself, what's going on with that? Isn't that really interesting that when I search for this video on YouTube, this shows up and it's related to hypnosis video, and law of attraction is related to manifestation. And the reason I really put this video out is because I watched a video called 3 secrets on the art of manifestation. And this video is about Sarah Prout. She's a successful entrepreneur. She's a motivational speaker, award-winning entrepreneur, and so on. And she talks to many people about this. And it's on YouTube and it's seen by many people. And she even has a book called something related to the universe. So I said that Satan himself rules the world, that he is actually God in that sense. Of course, Satan is not God. There's only one God. God created Satan. His name wasn't Satan in the beginning, but he turned himself into Satan when he did what it did. And it also means liar. But the point is that this person, Sarah Prout, talks about 3 secrets on the art of manifesting. And what's actually manifesting, you might ask? Well, it is actually really connected to everything that I've talked about until now. So manifest your dreams, manifest your life, manifest your happiness, thoughts becomes emotion, emotions becomes thoughts. Empty your thoughts, empty your head, so on. And many people have now started, and when I say many people, I mean really large amount of people of the world is starting to buy into this. If you look at the comments down below on YouTube, if you look at the YouTube videos that is related to this subject, these topics, they talk about successful things that's happening to their life after applying everything that's been said in those videos. You even have a guy called The Monk, something of that nature, the modern monk. And he talks about that he manifested 100 days by emptying his thoughts, by thinking positively about things, but by asking and just asking what you want. And he have put out that he has received everything that he has actually asked for, and he now teaches people. If you look at those comments, they're like, thank you for this video, and they are now starting to apply the same thing. So we now step back to Sarah Prout, because I really want to break this video down for the people that are blinded. And there are many. So Sarah Prout talks about manifesting. She talks about speaking for what you want in life, getting what you want. It's not a problem. You can have it all. When you think about it, this is actually really similar to what's happened in the beginning of the story of the Adam and Eve. The questions that arised in Eden that I talked about initially in the video, where Satan said to Eve, and then they did eat from the tree, from the fruit, where they said that he really said that you can't have this tree, or in other words, anything you want. And he lied and said that you should be some god and basically accomplish what you want and be like him. So Sarah Prout, she if you look into her name, you see that she's not just a successful entrepreneur. she is also a spiritualist, meaning that she is deceived, and the wealth and the abundance that you can call it, that every people call it these days, is yes from selling books, is yes from holding talks and putting that out there. But she really is influenced by I don't like to say the word spirits, but she is controlled by, as she called it herself, the universe, and I can say that for fun's sake in this video. So what's actually the universe that everybody talks about? Well, if we step back again, there's only one God. God created Satan, or an angel that became Satan and was thrown out of heaven, and according to the Bible is the ruler of the world today. So there's also a video about The Secret, which is the same thing. I will come more into this in different videos to not make this video too long. But the universe, do you think it's the universe that we live in? Do you think it's like like, come on people, wake up, start to use your brain a little bit, start to think. And I understand that you are deceived. I even understand that many of the people that believe in these things doesn't even believe in God. They just believe in evolution and there's no God, and if God is here, why is there so many things going on in the world and everything is bad and so on, and he is bad. And there's now even a television show about Lucifer himself, right? So maybe it starts to make sense that Satan is actually the ruler of the world, right? And if he is, can he give us what we want? That's actually the question. Can Satan give us what we want? Or Satan and his helper, his demons, can they give us what we want? Influence our lives, help us meet the right people, help us connect with the right people when we go out in the street, go out at the store, meet a nice person. If this happens and this happens, maybe behind the scenes, just because you in the morning said, "Thank you, universe, for this beautiful day. Thank you, universe, for helping me achieving my dreams. Thank you, universe." Who are you actually thanking? Who are you actually thanking? The universe? What is the universe? Like, the universe is made up, like you have chemistry and physics and all these things going on, and math and like every rule behind it. But are you thanking the sky? Are you thanking like the trees? Is that what you're doing? Is that what you're giving appreciation to? Or are you actually deceived? So if we now apply that, Sarah Prout actually talks about the universe. But this video, I encourage you to go and watch this video, because this video will really open up your eyes to see that she tries to pack it in, but she really does not. If you look with different type of eyes, you will see right through this video. It's not hard at all. So she talks about the universe, and she even makes the people in the audience do things that are related to her spiritual things. And I also initially talked about meditation. Like, everything talks these days about meditation is good for you. Meditation is good for your health. Meditation is good for emptying out your brain. Everything like that. And in this video, she talked about the benefits of meditation, and that's the thing that she uses to make the law of attraction that I talked about, or the manifesting part happening. Like she talks about the 3 secrets on the art of manifesting. And when I say that it's not hard to look through this video, watch this video and listen to what she says. Because she says that meditation is actually plugging into a channel, like taking a cord, plugging it into your brain when you are meditating, and plugging it into the universe, right? So here she just basically said it right out. So she's basically saying that meditation is not just about emptying your brain and relaxing from a hard day at work. It's maybe more into that than we really think, that we really know, or that we really want to admit. It depends on how we see it. So if you follow her thoughts about plugging into the universe, and then you can ask, what is the universe? I say, is it the trees that are outside? Is it the rocks? Is it the ocean? Well, who actually created these things? We could have a long discussion about that these things have happened because of evolution and the Darwin's theory and everything like that, but that's not what this video is about, right? So if you are watching this video, you probably agree that if there is a force somewhere in the world that's good, but maybe it isn't so good. It maybe gives you a lot of things because you're asking for it. It maybe help you get a better promotion at your pay, because as I say, there are things going on in the background. It may help you meet the right people. It may even help you receive a call from a person if you just think about it, or if you just meditate. Like you plug into the universe and you ask and you shall receive. And then, a person calling you that you maybe haven't talked for many years, and that's happening. That's interesting. So if you are watching this video, you are already accepting that, okay, there might be some force, some power that we can't describe, because the world is created. It's nice, it's beautiful, and we can go and have vacations, but this is not about religion or the aspect of that. But if we agree on certain facts, if we agree that it might exist, this force that I say is actually the ruler of the world today, which the Bible says is Satan and his helpers, then there also might exist a God. So if this evil force that isn't so evil according to all these videos, all these things, New Age movement as they call it, then there also might exist a God, because he has created Satan. This is just logic. This is just like, if this have happened and if he's actually been created, then God must exist. So if we agree on that, then we can move on. So Sarah Prout talks about plugging into the universe. She talks about asking for what you want. And she has even written a book called, I think it's called Thank You, Universe. So Their Universe is what it's called. And it's 200 mini meditations for instant manifestations. So who are we actually thanking? Who is the universe? Wake up, people. Please. We are living in a world where a lot of things are going on today. A lot of things are happening. Bad things, nice things, so on. But do you really want to plug into the universe? We're actually deceived by Satan and his helpers, his angels that are also called demons, according to the Bible, because of what they have done, how they have treated others. And those demons that help you get what you want, doesn't that really not help to answer the question about that God is not a loving God? He's just a God that you're just serving him because he gives you what you want, and it's not because you are have really gratitude for him, that you really love him, that you so when you plug into these things, the new age movement, hypnosis, meditations, you're basically serving Satan. It's just packed into something that looks really nice, looks really beautiful, but some of the videos, like for instance the video that the modern monk talks about, the 100 days of him manifesting something, like emptying out his thoughts, and his wishes comes true. That's actually teaching people to serve Satan. And is that the person you want to serve? Do you want to have nice cars, ask for $5,000 and receive it by some people on this on the videos? They write, I've started applying these things into my life and it's crazy how things are happening, how I'm receiving things in unusual ways. Well, if Satan is the creator, not the creator, but he's the ruler of the world, if he is that, do you think he has the power to actually give you a nice car? To do something behind the scenes, maybe not poof, magically, here it comes a car in front of you. He is intelligent. So you're probably doing some actions that get you this, but behind the scenes, what you're actually doing is serving Satan, and you're not serving God. So I'm worried. I'm worried about all the people out there that are buying into this. I was one of them myself. I have done hypnosis. If you look into a really successful YouTuber, he's called Michael Sealey. Millions of subscribers, and all of these YouTube channels that has meditations or spiritual awakening or law of attraction in them, they are big. They earn money. My point is, if you look at all these videos, they are related to each other. Michael Sealey has videos about sleep hypnosis. It's fine. You watch some videos about sleep. You can't sleep, you can't fall asleep. He has a nice voice. He can make you sleep. Not a problem. But Then you watch this video and then you find something called out of your body experience. That's another video topic. And then you find abundance, receiving abundance, prosperity, and then even a video about law of attraction, which basically is videos that help you connect with the universe. Plug into the universe. Or as Sarah Proud says, whatever you think the universe is for you. It could be God. It could be just a power. It's like, guys, come on. Look at what she's saying. She's basically saying Satan. Maybe she doesn't even know about it herself. I'm not sure. Because she says, maybe you think the universe is God. But I like to think about it as the universe. So, lastly in this video, what does Satan want? Satan wants to win the question that was raised in the Bible that I talked about initially in the video. He doesn't care at all if people think that they are talking to God and that God is giving these things, which translates to the universe or other forces or whatever you want to think about it, as she says. He doesn't care about that at all. He doesn't care that you don't even think that he exists. That's not his point. The only thing that he cares about is to help the process or make the process of doing everything that he possibly can, that he has in his power to do before his time are over. And what is these things? Getting people away from the true God. So if you think that Satan is God, fine. He doesn't care. So Sarah Proud, she even concludes with a prayer with the audience. So she says, close your eyes, start to visualize and empty out your mind and so on. And she stands there and she actually says, thank you, universe, and welcome abundance and prosperity and all these different things in our life today. What she actually does is praying, not to God. Because the only way to pray to God, according to the Bible, is having a healthy relationship with Him and praying against or through Jesus Christ. If you look at the prayer from Matthew that Jesus told the people how to pray, he said, "Dear Father, you that are in heaven," and he even used his name. And another scripture says that the only way to reach God is through Jesus, and that's the way we can reach God. So these guys just closes their eyes, just ask the universe, just right out in the room. But they're basically asking Satan, because of course Satan can listen to these things and he can make that happen. And I'm really scared about what's going on in the world today. So many people are buying into these things. But the truth is that we are actually moving away from God, moving away from the real God, and we are serving ourselves. So I said that Satan doesn't care about he is God or whoever we serve. We can serve a statue if you want to do that, even though it's through him. He doesn't care about that either. The only thing he cares about, and also I just want to point out that Sarah Proud says that we are God. And if you think about that as well, that's actually the same thing that Satan said through this symbolic snake in the Bible. That it says that you should be some God and know good and bad. That you will be like God. So Sarah Proud basically says that we are our own creators. We are our own rulers. We are our own God. We should decide for ourselves. We should have this nice car. We should have this nice house. We should not have any above us that tell us what we should do. So it's basically the same thing when you start to use your mind. It's basically the same thing that Satan said in the beginning of the Bible. So guys, there probably will be more videos. If you have come this far to this to the end of the video, then I congratulate you for doing that, for sticking here for a long time. Everything is unscripted. Everything is just from my heart right away, right now. But I just want to put this video out there. If this video can help just some of you wake up, I'm not talking about starting to become a Christian, because it's not what this video is about. But if you can start to wake up and look with different eyes, symbolically, wash your glasses and take away whatever is in front of it that you don't see. If this video can have that effect for you, then I'm pleased. If this means that you have to give up on your successful life, your successful career, the successful things that you have manifested by following these things, or if you have to give up meditation and law of attraction and wealth and abundance and those things, then that's fairly up to you. But should you, and let's say it like this, if you believe in evolution, if you don't believe in God, you think that the world is just like this because there is no God, there will be no change, everything is just bad and dramatic. Or you may have a different viewpoint, you may think that things are really nice and the world is beautiful, and you may even have other type of religious practices, and you have started to fall into this New Age movement, as they call it, or these things that are basically things that deceives you, and it's just packed into this good, nice things that shouldn't have nothing to do with Satan himself at all, but it's actually everything about Satan and his helpers, and that he is actually the ruler of the world today. So if that means that you should give up these things, then I ask you this: if what I'm saying is true, maybe it's really weird for you to hear about Adam and Eve, hearing about a snake talking, or hearing about Satan talking through a snake, talking to Adam and Eve, and that you think it's just weird that even the heaven exists and that there are spirits and that they exist and so on and so on. Even if you are that type of person, should you doing things that, if they are true, are actually making you serve Satan? Should you then take practice in these things? That's what I want to end with. And if this video wants you to read the Bible, wants you to seek out for who God really is, then please do so. And remember what I said. Try to find out what I said. That Satan is the ruler of the world. If that's true, maybe this video makes sense. And if you start to believe in the Bible and the other things that are written there, then maybe the pieces will start to fall together. And I said that this video is not about religion. But lastly, I want you to consider this. If you now happen to start reading the Bible, look out for God's name. Try to find out the meaning of that name. And also, look how many times that name is mentioned. I will tell you what that name is. It's mentioned over 7,000 times in the Bible. And I mean, if you write something 7,000 times, then it should have maybe not necessarily a meaning to it, but it should be important. You should start to think, this is actually written 7,000 times. Maybe somebody wants me to pay attention to this. And that name is removed from the Bible. Why is it removed from the Bible? If Satan wants everybody away from God, from the truth of God, then who is God? God can be a statue. God can be whatever he wants. It can be the universe. It can even be all these different gods that exist today. I'm not going to go into religion, but Vishnu, Rana, Krishna, all these things, that's just something that came to my mind. It can be all these other names as well. But Satan, he doesn't care about who you think God is. But if he can actually deceive you, trick you, or do everything in his power to make you not reach the true God, then wouldn't it be really great for him to influence the world and actually make it so that the name is removed from the Bible? Think about it. If it's mentioned over 7,000 times, maybe it should be something we should pay attention to. And if we don't know the name, if we just think it's God, and God can be the universe, it can be a tree, it can be whatever, according to these people, then we don't know the real God. We don't know who really created us. We can't get a real relationship with a person we don't know. So think about this when you read the Bible. When you start to study the Bible, ask yourself, why is God's name Jehovah? And why is it mentioned over 7,000 times? And why is the world like this? Why do we have New Age movement? Why do we have meditation? Why do we have law of attraction? Why do people post out video and they are starting to receiving a lot of money by doing all these different practices, these different rituals, I will call it? maybe it has something to do with that Satan is actually the ruler of the world. And now when you're starting to get into the Bible, then find where it says that he only have a short period of time to exist. Because God is going to remove everything, every bad thing, every bad action. He's going to remove every bad person that doesn't want to follow him. He's going to clean up the world. He's going to clean up and make it a nicer place to live in. And he's going to remove Satan, the most important thing of all. And if Satan is going to be removed, why do you think he uses all his power, all his intentions, all his things that he can do to deceive people? To use all his power, all his time and effort to get people away from God. Because if he can do that, even though he's going to just be removed, he will still win. He will still have tricked so many people and made so many people not be able to know the real God. And then he's like, yes, at least I did everything I could. Because he knows that he's going to be removed. And he knows that it's a short period of time. And this video is now soon 1 hour. But then you can start to ask yourself, why is there so many bad things going on in the world? And start to look at what's actually written in the Bible about the end of the days. You have Winnie Paz talking about the end of the days, Illuminati, blah blah blah. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the end of the days, meaning that Satan is going to be removed. God is not going to tolerate that he is going to have this power. He's just driving a car now. He's allowed to influence many people. But if we as individuals wake up, if we understand that we can stand on this side or we can stand on this side, then we can actually answer Satan back. Go ahead and just remove all these practices, meditations, spiritual awakenings, law of attraction, abundance, clearance, cleanse, clean out the brain, the thoughts, all these different things that are just packed and looks really not bad, but in reality it actually is. If we can just step away from that, then we are standing on the right side. And if we then maybe start to believe in God, maybe start to open up our minds, open up our thoughts a little bit, and we start to ask ourselves questions of everything that I've mentioned in this video and start to study the Bible, then maybe we can be on the right place when everything comes to an end. That's what I'm trying to say here. So to conclude this video, ask yourself, why is God's name Jehovah? Why is it mentioned over 7 times in the Bible? Why is it just removed? And you can't find it in almost any Bible, even if you look really, really hard. Why is it like that? Maybe it has a meaning. Maybe it's something we should pay attention to. And why is it that if Satan is the world's ruler of the world today, that maybe, I'm just saying maybe, if everything that I'm saying is true, then maybe it has something to do with the world going on today. Because if think about it, if Satan has this power, if Satan can give you a nice car, he can give you abundance and clarity and blah 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 and just money, and you will receive and you will get it from him. If he can do that, maybe he can also influence the people in the world today. Maybe he can influence the government, maybe he can influence the persons that are behind, maybe he can influence the United Nations, maybe he can influence basically the world, and maybe he can also influence the people that are angry against each other, that are making wars, as I'm saying, that are fighting, that are practicing violence, that are hating each other, that are raping each other, that are doing all these crazy, nasty things. And then start to look at what should be the sign of the last days. Start to look at what should be the sign of the last days. And then I think what I've been saying in this video, that's now 1 hour, will start to make sense for you. And briefly, it says that there will be wars, there will be illoyal people, there will be people that are lovers of themselves, not lovers of God. And there will also be people that seems to love God, but in reality they are not loving God, they're loving themselves or another type of God. And it says that all these things need to happen, but the end is still yet not to come. But think about all these dramatic things going on. Think about all these videos that are put out about law of attraction, about meditation, about law of abundance and spirituality awakening and chakra. What do you think that is, really? Think about it. It's just getting more and more and more and more and more up now. Maybe it has something to do with that Satan is working his butt off to accomplish everything that I said. Because he wants people to not know God. He wants people to not know that God has a name. To know that he is going to change up things. Maybe he has increased. Maybe he has put up the gear a little bit. So, do you want to take part of this? Or do you want to start now investigating and researching and look into the Bible and maybe do some questions on your own? And even if you aren't believing in God and you don't believe in anything that I've said and it's just total so on, still, do you want to serve Satan if what I'm saying is true? Or the universe, which basically is just a name for Satan, or God, as Sarah Prout says. Do you want to do that? Do you want to have clean thoughts and go to bed at night and know that you're actually serving Satan, and Satan is actually giving you everything that you're asking for if you are practicing these things? If you're getting a nice car, if you're getting a nice house, if you are getting money here and there, if people are starting to manifesting in your life and so on. And if I ask it like this, do you want your success to be given to you by Satan? Is that what you want? Or do you want to work for your things? Not just ask the universe and thank the universe for everything. But in reality, you're actually thanking Satan, the ruler of the world today, just for now, because he will be removed, but for now. So, that's everything. Open your eyes, people. Open your eyes.